Hello, I'm 53 years old and I've learned 8 game-changing facts about life in these last 4 decades that I've really wanted to share with you today. And if you're in your teens or your 20s or 30s, I think they're going to be really useful for you to help you chart a course ahead in life. Knowing these and acting upon them really helped me to be where I am right now, even handling life's ups and downs. And I know we're all a work in progress. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, I'm Marv. I am a journalist, I'm a coach and also a lover of craft beer. Welcome to my channel Midlife with Marv. Right, number 1, learn to love yourself and learn the art of self-acceptance. And I don't mean in the mirror arrogant, but the true self-love. I really believe that it's not a selfish endeavour to pursue. I hated my skin colour and my hair when I was younger, and I was overweight and all the rest of it. And I desperately wanted to be white because the world revolved around whiteness. Beauty equals white, ugly equals black, rich equals white, poor equals black. And people judged me, and people often judge black people by those stereotypes. So I decided very quickly I was not going to be held back by those stereotypes, which are often in some people's subconscious mind. And I remember when I started out as a local reporter, a local journalist, and everyone's shocked at how fast and how accurate I was in all of my work. For me, I wasn't breaking sweat as a reporter. I delivered what the editor needed and I didn't stay 3 or 4 hours over. Wasn't an overworker, but I know what that shock was. They were not expecting me as a black woman to be any good at the job. So I realised that who I am is never going to change, and I still had a mission. So work on your self-love and your self-acceptance. Work out what matters to you, your values. And what does that mean? I mean, it means sitting down, working out what you care about the most and why. You know, I kind of did that subconsciously as a kid. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I sit my clients down and get them to do this deliberately in a journal with me as a coach now, because it's essential, I think, to have a direction in life. And if you don't, you're going to be all over the place. I ask my clients to think about all manner of things. Where do you stand on security in life, upholding traditions, traits like kindness, compassion, generosity, achievement, recognition, you name it, respect, responsibility, it goes on, it goes on, it goes on. But remember that what matters to you is likely to change over the years, and you can also map it to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where it talks about what matters to us as humans, being warm and having shelter, right the way up to standing and experiencing and releasing your potential as an individual. So ask yourself, what do you want? Do you want a static or secure home? Do you want to be a nomad? How do you go about achieving that? And by earning money. So how do you want to earn that money? Are you smart? How can you trade your level of smartness for a certain amount of money to achieve that home? How can you do that in ways that make you happy? How much do you care about the welfare of others? How do you demonstrate the welfare of others? Do you want to give your time and money to charity? All sorts of different things in life. Work those out. Weigh those up. And most people can make decisions about their lives from that standpoint. So if you're liking this video and you're enjoying it, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It all really matters, and it also helps share it with other people. And I'm just trying to build a community here of women in midlife to try and lift us all up. But also, if you're finding this advice interesting, then just let me know in the comments. Declutter your mind for improved mental health. Now listen, are you the person who jumps up and down at the TV when you're watching the news and there are things going on that you don't like? Well, me too. Well, I used to be. I lied. I used to be. I've stopped worrying about things like that now. And it sounds weird because I am a journalist, but so I put everything into 3 buckets around 3 circles. The circle of control, the circle of influence, and the circle of concern. So, concern. Political leaders, world leaders, local politicians and the like, they say and they do great things and stupid things on a daily basis that you might not agree with. So how are you going to change that? Well, Unless you want to exercise your democratic, legitimate right to protest, as long as that exists where you live, then go and do that. But otherwise, just pay less attention to those machinations for the sake of your mental health, because I do. Remember, by not getting het up about it, it doesn't mean that you don't care. But what it does mean is that you are protecting your brain from negativity. Around influence then, for example, a friend asks you some relationship advice and they give it to you, but do they follow it? Probably not. They might do so much, but instead of you getting mad about it, let it go. By not being all up in their business doesn't mean you don't care. And some people will hop up and down about things and wonder why you're not doing the same. And I love Mel Robbins, and I've got to quote her: let them hop up and down. And like my Jamaican mum, patois incoming, you don't have to follow people. Talking about the sphere of control, now this is where most people fall down because they don't concentrate or they don't focus as much as they should on what they can control. Instead, the balance is often tipped, and you'll find this, you're tipped towards worrying about what other people think about you, what they're saying about you. You can't do anything about that. And sidebar, nobody cares. And really, if they do, they care for about 3 minutes. They watch you, they observe you, they might snipe a bit on Instagram or whatever. That's their problem that they've got to deal with. And then they're turning the focus back on themselves. So, control, concern, influence. Stop looking everywhere else but yourself. That's my advice. Because the minute you focus on yourself, then you can progress forward. Find your purpose. Find your why. It sounds corny. Everybody talks about it. Of course, you're going to do right by your folks or your guardians when they tell you go to college, get your exams, all the rest of it. My mum told me the same. When you do that, if you don't like that path, carve your own path. Do you. Stay true to yourself and what matters to you, and also kind of know that you're going to face adversity head on if need be. So figure out, are you creative, analytical, numerate, musical, imaginative? The list goes on. What combination of those are you? What fires you up? Find a way of living a life that aligns with the values you just worked out. I worked out what I wanted from life at a very young age. Wanted to be in the media, wanted to be in journalism. Like I said, Mum said, get your education, then do what you want. That's what I did. And the adversity piece was where I saw that I knew there were very few black women on TV at all in the UK, let alone in the news. I knew I was going to have a rough ride in journalism. And the data is that 0.2% of journalists in the UK are black. So I wavered for a whole decade. And at the age of 32, I retrained. Didn't want to let that stop me. I have no regrets. I won't change a thing. Self-love, value yourself, declutter your mind, find your purpose, my first four. Work those out. How's it hitting for you? I'd really love to know. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree? Are you a midlifer? Am I right? Are you a young person thinking, great, writing all of this down? Stop comparing yourself. Comparison is the thief of joy. That quote is often attributed to the 26th President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt. And not only is comparison a thief of joy, but it is also a hell trap that you will struggle to get out of mentally. I have done. It will drag you down. It's one you want to avoid. I'm a living testament to that. I spent the last few years stuck in comparison. You'll have seen my video about purpose. I had to get out of it. I knew it wasn't healthy for me. We've all done our comparing to someone else in our life. Someone who appears to be more successful, more happy, richer than me. Appearance is a word there. Appearances are not everything. Social media is not the 100%. It does not tell the full story. Think about when you've been on the beach or at the seaside and you've lifted up that rock. And do you remember the shock when you picked up that rock and all the little spiders and the insects were running for their lives because they were exposed? You know, what that means is that what you see on the outside doesn't always equate to what we assume. And I don't even know why we do this really. And in fact, actually I do. We're distracting ourselves, you know. Here's an idea. Why don't you just flip it? Take the negative energy, the negative feelings you have about someone that you're comparing yourself to, and examine why they're actually successful. And turn that negative energy into a positive action. Try and emulate them instead, perhaps. All about finding your purpose, but really, there is no one on this earth that you have a similarity to. Absolutely no one. Even if you have an identical twin, economists say it, live your life, get on with it. And given that fundamental understanding, I think it's really easy then to move on to the next point. Learn to understand yourself and notice yourself and listen to yourself and stop suppressing your feelings. Instead, try and work them out. Quiz yourself. What are the emotions that you're having and the actions that you're having? What are they an expression of? What are the negative consequences of those actions? Are you hurting yourself? Are you hurting those close to you, the people you care about? And if so, figure out what you need to do about that. Urgently as well, if all your emotions and your actions are derailing your life in the way you want to live it. And if you don't listen to your gut, something's going to go wrong about that. Please try and listen to your gut. Accepting two fundamentals in life are really going to be helpful for you. That life is unfair and it is uncertain. Uncertain as hell. Unfair. Okay, all sorts of factors hold you back in life, and most people particularly agree that here in the West, we're living in a patriarchy. We're a straight, white, able-bodied, well-educated, wealthy, white male pretty much has all the cards and has done for generations. Instant access to the retention of wealth, power, status and governance. And if you're anything other than that, you might well struggle. And if you're even not the archetypal top dog, white male, strong, confident, outspoken, unapologetic, you also might get a raw deal. When it comes to uncertainty, nothing is ever black and white. It's really important for you to know. There's grey, there are nuances, there's a light and shade that exists, and there's a whole lot in between, and you've got to acknowledge that. So be prepared for your goals, your plans, your actions to go wrong, and it's about how you handle it. I mean, are you the person who hangs a decision on whether or not they need to know, they need to absolutely be sure, like finding the perfect dress? Your wedding has to be perfect. You're only applying for a job if it's perfect. You need to look right, sound right, do things right. Let it go, or you're going to send yourself bonkers. I'm going to tell you now. I've been there. Perfectionism is prison. And to me, getting something done that is not perfect is not the end of the world. What I've realised is you will never be sure, never ever be sure if a decision you're going to make is the right one. What you've got to do is calculate your decisions by balancing the priorities around what matters to you. You've got to endeavour to make meaningful connections, and in this world full of digital distractions, genuine connections can be elusive. Think about the friends you've got, the close ones that haven't done the dirty on you in whatever way. Stick with them. Strive to, where you can, and communicate effectively with all the people around you, especially in light of what I said about nuance. Try and draw a community around you. It might be rejoining one that you left at a different time of your life. It might be finding a new one or building one, bringing like-minded friends together. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here on YouTube, because life alone without support is really hard. Learn to reach out for support. It is not a weakness. It is not a weakness. Don't try and do everything on your own because you're going to crumble. Reaching out, just try and calculate who you're going to reach out to, people that you trust, right? Because meaningful relationships, I really believe, coupled with that self-love and that self-acceptance, they all go hand in hand with making a strong foundation for healthier relationships. And we all need that in a world at a time where it is so divisive. And the caveat is, I really wanted to acknowledge how far you maybe can or can't achieve any of these things, because I fully know, sitting here as a black woman, that the differences that happen and that exist within a particular country or a particular state will come into play, and also your uniqueness, your age, class, wealth, sexuality, disability, ethnicity, faith, any combination of those. Hope you enjoyed this. Plenty more videos to watch on my channel. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.